Tonight on Crossfire. Have the Republicans gone too far in their hunt for Hillary?
If she wants to compete for the highest job in the land, my goodness.
Republicans double down on Benghazi. Democrats push back.
This is a stunt. This is a political stunt.
On the left, Van Jones. On the right, S.E. Cupp. In the Crossfire, Representative Eliot Engel, a Democrat from New York, and Representative Morgan Griffith, a Republican from Virginia. Are the Benghazi hearings a trap for Hillary Clinton or her Republican opponents? Tonight on Crossfire.
Welcome to Crossfire. I'm S.E. Cupp on the right.
And I'm Van Jones on the left. In the Crossfire tonight, we've got congressmen from both political parties. Well, today Republicans are once again using the murder of 4 Americans in Benghazi to raise money, distract us from their non-existent agenda, and, of course, tear down Hillary Clinton. Now, if you don't believe me, listen to Senator Rand Paul speaking to CNN just a few hours ago.
I think that's a dereliction of duty, and it does go to management. And if she wants to compete for the highest job in the land, my goodness.
Translation, the GOP presidential frontrunner wants Hillary Clinton, the Democratic frontrunner, and his potential rival for the White House hauled before a partisan committee for a show trial. Why are we still talking about this? We have had 4 congressional committee investigations, plus more than 40, almost 50 congressional briefings, 25,000 pages of documents have been released, and there is zero evidence of any intentional wrongdoing anywhere. There's no smoking gun. This is just a cynical Republican smokescreen.
Well, actually,
and you know I'm right, Essie.
There was a pretty big, fat smoking gun, and we discovered it last week, and there are plenty of questions still to be asked.
We're going to get into it tonight.
In the Crossfire tonight, Democratic Representative Eliot Engel of New York and Republican Representative Morgan Griffith of Virginia. Congressman Engel, let me start with you. I think, Democrats are acting indignant about all of these investigations and hearings, but actually I think they look pretty arrogant. We learned just a week ago some new information about the White House talking points. It seems like pushing on Benghazi is finally, after years, paying off. What responsible person would stop now when there are still so many questions left to be answered?
Well, first of all, let me say that I think it's just a tragedy that Republicans are using this tragedy to try to score political points and to try to raise money. This was the death of 4 Americans. Nobody wanted to see that, including our ambassador. And it has been investigated. I'm the ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee. We held a hearing. 3 other committees held a hearing. We know everything there is to know.
Well, we're going to get into the fundraising, but are you telling me there aren't any questions left to be answered about Benghazi? We still don't have anyone in custody.
You know what's left to be answered? Why aren't the Republicans creating jobs in America? Why aren't they extending unemployment insurance? Why aren't they passing immigration reform? Instead, they want to do a political charade. They want to just play to their base. And I really just think it's disgraceful. There was an investigation. Mr. Pickering and Admiral Mullen, they did a thorough investigation. They recommended changes. Hillary Clinton put forth all of those changes. And they're still talking about this. I mean, we should put this to bed and move on.
Don't you agree that we've investigated this thing enough at this point? Now it's becoming just an abuse of the process?
No, absolutely not. When you have new evidence that comes out, I have been on the resolution that Frank Wolf put in asking for a select committee for over a year. And the bottom line is we still don't have the answers. We had 4 committees that were going in different directions. They weren't looking to get all of it put together in one package. And somehow the administration failed to give, in all the requests that were made and all the documents that have been mentioned here tonight, they failed to give everything to the congressional committee. So now what we have...
Why would we trust them now?
Exactly. And we have a committee of a handful of people, most of whom are lawyers who are professionals who will look at this from a professional angle and try to figure out the truth. That's all we want is the truth.
First of all, if you wanted the truth, if I put together a Democratic committee saying I wanted the truth and I put Alan Grayson in charge of it, would you think that was seeking the truth? You put a partisan attack dog in charge of this committee, number one. But number two, I don't understand. You're hanging all of this on one email that has come forward. The Judicial Watch was able to get a hold of. It doesn't change anything. In fact, it confirms almost everything. Why has this email now become the excuse to take the country through all this?
While I was unsatisfied anyway, you had the 4 committees, they gathered all this information together. It shows us that information was being withheld from Congress and from the American people. And so what we need now is we need some people who are experienced at getting through the documents, looking at documents. That's why you have several prosecutors and a number of attorneys on there who will wade through the thousands of documents and find out what the truth is. That's all we want.
You know what was
the truth.
Was withheld from Congress? We went to war in Iraq, and there were over 4,000 Americans who were killed in Iraq. We were lied to. We were told that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. The documentation was faulty. Why didn't the Republicans investigate that?
Did Democrats fundraise off of the war in Iraq? Just remind me, refresh me.
But I'd still like to know why Republicans didn't investigate that. Instead, they picked Benghazi ad nauseum, never stop with it. And what really is important to the American people, suddenly we forget about Iraq.
You guys want to really deflect about Benghazi, and really what we've learned in the past week has been crucial and game-changing. It's not just information was released, it was the crucial information
First of all,
we'd been asking for that was withheld deliberately.
A set of questions was asked, there was response to that, a different question was asked, and a different response came out. But first
you guys would not have this tolerance for a Republican administration if they had played this game.
Speaking of Republicans, Krauthammer, a great conservative,
Charles Krauthammer
has put out a piece warning you guys that you are overreaching, that this is actually bad for Republicans. This could blow up in your face. Are you concerned about any of the overreach allegations? Here you have Mr. Krauthammer saying these hearings are a big political risk for Republicans. If they're botched, like previous hearings on this matter, the hearings could backfire against the GOP, just like in 1998 when you overreached on the Clinton impeachment. Are you concerned about that at all?
Well, you have to be concerned about that, which is why I think the Speaker picked some very responsible people with professional backgrounds to look into this, who have an experience going through thousands of documents.
Why the 7 to 5? Why the 7 to 5 disadvantage for Democrats?
Because the American...
You just want the truth. Why don't you have 5 and 5?
And I can answer that.
Why give Republicans an unfair advantage?
It's not an unfair advantage. The American people have sent us here in certain proportions. We have a majority. 7 to 5 is the right proportion. When you look at the way the American people sent the members to Congress, it's about a 7 to 5 ratio. We've been very fair with the Democrats. They have an equal number of representatives based on the number of seats they hold.
Well, and Congressman, let me ask you about that, because it seems like there's some confusion in your party. Steve Israel says that Democrats should boycott these hearings. Nancy Pelosi seems to be dithering on what she believes. You think that the Democrats should appoint people, if I'm not mistaken. What's with all of the confusion? Where should you guys go on this?
Well, some people believe that since this is a farce and the response is already preordained, that we shouldn't participate in it. I happen to believe we should.
Why?
Because I think that if we don't participate in it, day after day, week after week, Republicans will be there getting out distortions and mistruths, and we're not going to be there to counter it.
Is Nancy Pelosi going to listen to you?
Well, she'll make a decision. Whatever decision she makes, I'll support. But I think it's very, very important that we debunk all this nonsense. This is about raising money for the Republicans, softening up Hillary Clinton, and doing this thing ad nauseum. You know, we have voted 50 times to repeal Obamacare. We've had 4 hearings to look at Benghazi. I guess Republicans have to just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, because they're not doing anything that helps the nation.
Okay, well, coming up, I'm going to teach some Democrats why they might want to check their facts before they open their mouths. And here's today's Crossfire quiz. How many Democrats voted for the Benghazi Select Committee? Is it 0, 7, or 21? I bet these guys know. We'll have the answer when we get back.
The fun is back.
We're barefooting. We're barefooting.
Don't let cracks and splinters spoil your fun. Bear Deck Over gives new life to old wood and concrete. More than a stain, it extends the life of your deck, fills cracks, and covers splinters.
We're barefooting.
Don't replace, resurface.
Do the barefoot thing.
With Bear Deck Over, exclusively at the Home Depot. Good, better, Bear.
When I was pregnant, I got lots of advice, but I needed information I could trust. United Healthcare's innovative, simple program helps moms stay on track with their doctors to get the right care and guidance.
That's health in numbers. United Healthcare.
You may have to travel like this, but at Courtyard, you can stay like this and enjoy more of this and this. It's a new stay. Courtyard.
America, we have a powerful choice.
To create jobs.
To revitalize American manufacturing.
To make us more secure.
By choosing to produce and refine more energy.
American energy.
America is now the world's #1 natural gas producer, and with smart policies could become #1 in oil by 2015. A global energy leader.
This election,
let's join together.
Republicans,
Democrats,
independents,
to re-energize America.
Get involved at chooseenergy.org.
America's energy.
America's choice.
Really? So our business can be on AT&T's network for $175 a month?
Yep, all 5 of you for $175.
Our clients need a lot of attention.
There's unlimited talk and text.
We're working deals all day.
You get 10 gigabytes of data to share.
What about expansion potential?
Add a line anytime for $15 a month.
Low dues, great terms.
Let's close.
New AT&T Mobile Share Value Plans. Our best value plans ever for business.
I'm Nikki, and I'm a kindergarten teacher.
Who likes ice cream?
I feel like I spent so much time focusing on my job.
Hi.
It's time to start focusing on myself.
Match.com. More dates, relationships, and marriages than any other site. Start for free today.
Hey, I'm Ted, and this is Rudy. Say hi, Rudy. I'd do anything to keep this guy happy and healthy. That's why I'm so excited about these new Milk-Bone brushing shoes. I'm not the only one. It's a brilliant new way to take care of his teeth. Clinically proven as effective as brushing. Okay, here you go. Have you ever seen a dog brush his own teeth? The twist and nub design cleans all the way down to the gum line, even reaching the back teeth. They taste like a treat, but they clean like a toothbrush. Nothing says you care like a Milk-Bone brushing shoe.
On the next Anthony Bourdain Parts Unknown, Russia, a country struggling to find its identity. Will its Soviet past hold back its capitalist future?
You ask for capitalism, you got it, buddy.
Anthony Bourdain Parts Unknown, Sunday night at 9 Eastern and Pacific on CNN.
Have you ever looked for a hotel online? Did you notice that there's so many prices out there for the exact same room? Well, Trivago does the work for you and instantly compares prices for over 600,000 hotels from over 100 different websites. So instead of searching for hours and spending too much, Trivago makes it easy to find the ideal hotel for the best price. Just go to Trivago.com, type in where you want to go, and with 2 clicks, select your check-in, your check-out dates, and search. It's that simple. Trivago searches hundreds of websites at the same time and shows you the most popular hotels. You can adjust the price so that it fits in with your budget, and select the number of stars, or filter by average guest rating from over 34 million reviews. Remember, Trivago shows you all the different prices for the exact same room. That's how you can be sure that you find the ideal hotel for the best price with Trivago.com. Hotel? Trivago.
This is CNN, the world's news network.
Welcome back. Now the answer to our Crossfire quiz. 7 sensible, statesman-like Democrats were brave enough to stand up to their party leaders and voted to form a special committee to investigate Benghazi and the administration's response. But other Democrats are shocked and appalled, offended and outraged that Republicans would send out a fundraising email attached to the Benghazi hearings. Here's just one example. Take a listen to this.
Speaker Boehner can shut this fundraising effort down right now, and he should. You shouldn't be raising money with regard to this matter.
I cannot tell you how ludicrous this is. Just a cursory glance over the past few years brings up a laundry list of national tragedies that Democrats have politicized and extensively fundraised on. Iraq, Katrina, Newtown, and other tragic shootings. Most recently, the VA deaths in Arizona. So Democrats, check your outrage and your hypocrisy at the door, because no one's buying it. Okay, Democratic Congressman Eliot Engel and Republican Morgan Griffith are with us tonight. Congressman Engel, explain the hypocrisy. Are you willing to call a truce now on fundraising on national tragedies? Because you guys do it just as much as Republicans do.
Well, you want to know what the hypocrisy is? All the things that you mentioned that were national tragedies, we didn't have hearings in Congress to exploit them. Benghazi, for some reason, has been exploited again and again.
We've been having hearings to get to the bottom of them so they don't happen again. And believe me, George Bush was investigated. FEMA was investigated. The Department of Defense. I mean,
how about going into Iraq on false pretense? How about 4,000 Americans being killed? Republicans didn't choose to investigate that, but Benghazi. We're going to soften up Hillary Clinton. We're going to play gotcha on all these things.
So then, look. Let me be honest. I actually thought that it was fair of Democrats to fundraise on those issues. You guys were passionate about those issues, and you felt like they were betrayals. And you asked the American public to say, if you feel betrayed too, come with us and vote in Democrats. I think that's fine. But you seem to have a problem with it when Republicans do it.
No, we don't have a problem when Republicans do it. We just have a problem when Republicans do it again and again and again and again. Yeah. There have already been 4 hearings in the Congress.
I'm talking about the fundraising.
But let me I just want to move to another question. I mean, part of the thing is this is a question of kind of credibility. It seems to us that somebody gave you guys a memo. You guys used to talk about Obamacare all the time, just beat it to death. And then suddenly, let me show you this chart. Suddenly, you guys decided to switch topics, and now you go from talking about Obamacare all the time to suddenly Benghazi. You had only 19 mentions of Obamacare this week, and now you got 110 of Benghazi. Did you get a memo? Is this like a purely blatant political strategy? Where's the memo here?
No, and I'd love to talk about Obamacare. I was talking about it earlier this week in a hearing, and the bottom line is the press sometimes picks what subjects they think is the sexiest, and that's where they go. So if you ask me about Benghazi, I won't talk about Benghazi. Ask me about Obamacare, I'd be happy to talk about it. I'm sure Representative Engel would be too. We disagree, but we'd be
Well, they didn't get a memo. They got an email. We found an email, which is why we've decided to talk about Benghazi again.
Well, first of all, I just think this email has just been completely exploited. There was a specific set of requests given to the White House, specifically asking about Susan Rice and the State Department. You guys got that in Congress. A different organization asked a different question and got different documents. That's the email. There's no cover-up here. Why do you guys exploit? You got 25,000 documents. You're going to make a whole thing over one email? Makes no sense at all.
We don't know how many other emails are out there. Obviously, we have to phrase the question just right. We have to determine what is in order to get the right answer. You know, it's always the same thing. If we don't ask you the exactly right question, then somebody's going to say, well, we didn't have to give you that. You know, if my children tried to tell me that, I'd say, you knew what I wanted. You withheld that information. You're in trouble, buddy.
And the difference between you dealing with your kids and us trying to deal with the federal government is that there's actually a law called for you. If you give too much stuff, you get in trouble as well as you know. But
I'm sure that's what they were thinking about. Congressman, to me, what's been offensive from the get-go is it seems like there's been a cavalier attitude among Democrats about this. I just want you to take a look at this.
And like so many of the conspiracy theories that have been promulgated by Republicans from the beginning of this one turned out to be bogus.
What difference at this point does it make?
Dude, this was like 2 years ago. We're still talking about the most mundane
it is the
process
thing that everybody is talking about.
We're talking about the process of editing talking points.
Now, I can tell you take this national tragedy very seriously. You're offended by the fundraising. Are you offended by that cavalier attitude toward it?
Well, I don't think it's a cavalier attitude. I think Hillary Clinton was saying, what difference does it make? 4 Americans were killed. That's what's important, to get it to the truth of it. But here we are, many, many months later, and again, another investigation. I mean, when does it end? John Boehner, just a few weeks ago, said, that's it, we're not going to do it anymore. And then all of a sudden, they used...
got some new information.
They used this memo as a hook to hang their hat on.
Let me ask you something. This is different, isn't it? I remember with Beirut, right, back in the 1980s. Reagan made horrible mistakes. Hundreds of people wound up getting killed. There was one aggressive attempt on Tip O'Neill's part to bring the country together, get an investigation done, get recommendations done. There was no attempt to politicize it, hang it over Reagan, make this a huge issue. Usually when Americans are murdered by terrorists, the country comes together. Why are we not coming together on this?
And I think the country would have come together if we hadn't been told a story about a video immediately after it happened. And it turns out that's just a totally bogus, made-up story that somebody.
It was made up that there were 50 protests around the world based on the video.
It was
that was
entirely
made up. No, that
made
was not
up.
made up.
That there was a protest outside of the Benghazi
that
conflict.
was a mistake.
Made up.
Well, if it was made up, it was made up by the CIA because it was the CIA that told the State Department
immediately that it was a terrorist attack.
No.
Yes.
We'll be arguing about this for a long time.
It was a confluence of several things. things. And again, Mr. Pickering and Admiral Mullen, they're no patsies for one party or another. They investigated. They made several recommendations to the State Department. Hillary Clinton implemented every single one of them.
Okay.
Well, stay here. Look, we're going to keep arguing about this, but I want you guys at home to get in on this. Weigh in on our fireback question. Should Democrats participate in this Benghazi Select Committee? Tweet yes or no using hashtag Crossfire. We're going to give you the results after the break. Also, we have the outrages of the day, and we have a first on Crossfire. Essie and I are actually outraged about the very same thing, but for very different reasons.
That makes sense.
When we get back.
Crossfire. Brought to you by Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Good to know.
We've never sold a house before.
I'll walk you guys through every step. There are a lot of buyers for a house like yours.
It's good to know.
UPS is a global company, but most of our employees live in the same communities that we serve. People here know that our operations have an impact locally. We're using more natural gas vehicles than ever before. The trucks are reliable, that's good for business, but they also reduce emissions, and that's good for everyone. It makes me feel very good about the future of our company.
So Ally Bank really has no hidden fees on savings accounts?
That's right, no hidden fees.
It's just I'm worried about, hidden things.
Okay, why's that?
Well,
Surprise!
Well, it's true.
At Ally, there are no hidden fees. Not one.
That's nice.
No hidden fees, no worries. Ally Bank, your money needs an ally.
Honestly, the off-season isn't really off for me. I've got a lot to do. That's why I got my Surface. It's great for watching the game film and drawing up plays. It's got OneNote, so I can stay on top of my to-do list, which has been absolutely absurd since the big game. With Skype, it's just really easy to stay in touch with the kids I work with.
All right, Russ, you're good to go.
All right, fellas.
All right, Russ.
Back to work.
Disney has brought you some of the most inspirational movies of our time. And this Saturday, you're invited to a special sneak preview of the greatest journey of them all.
We've got a major league tryout.
Disney's $1 Million Arm, based on a true story. Rated PG.
The Name Your Price tool. You tell them how much you want to pay, and they help you find a policy that fits your budget. I told you to wear something comfortable. This is a polyester blend.
It'll help.
I got you. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Should we call security?
No, this is just getting good.
The Name Your Price tool. Still only from Progressive.
Covidien has been unlocking their potential with the New York Stock Exchange since 2007. And today, Covidien continues to make a difference in patients' lives on the biggest stage in business, the New York Stock Exchange.
It's the designer wardrobe sale at Men's Warehouse. Get 60% off select suits, dress shirts, and slacks from Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, and Kenneth Cole. Plus, buy one, get one free on almost everything else in the store. The designer wardrobe sale, now through May 26th at Men's Warehouse.
Next, shot and left to die at the hands of the terrorist organization Boko Haram, the group responsible for kidnapping hundreds of girls. An exclusive Survivor story. Aaron Burnett out front. Next on CNN.
Have you ever looked for a hotel online? Did you notice that there's so many prices out there for the exact same room? Well, Trivago does the work for you and instantly compares prices for over 600,000 hotels from over 100 different websites. So instead of searching for hours and spending too much, Trivago makes it easy to find the ideal hotel for the best price. Remember, Trivago shows you all the different prices for the exact same room. That's how you can be sure that you find the ideal hotel for the best price with Trivago.com. Hotel? Trivago.
For home decor and inspiration, I shop Joss & Main. Every day, they showcase new design events with furniture and decor that I love. It's simple and free to sign up with just an email address. And then I have access to beautifully curated collections with new ones added every day. All of the items are hand-picked by professional designers, and they're up to 70% off. Now my home inspiration starts at Joss & Main. Sign up now and discover new sales every day at jossandmain.com.
I'm Chris Cuomo.
I'm Kate Baldwin.
And this
is CNN. Welcome back. Now, our outrages of the day. Mitt Romney, I thought we were friends. This morning, the former presidential candidate broke with fellow conservatives and basic economics to suggest that raising the minimum wage would be good for the country. Why? Because we need better outreach to minority voters, he says. I'll remind our viewers that this comes after Romney opposed raising the minimum wage in 2012, which came after he supported raising the minimum wage in 2008. Now, I don't understand Republicans like Romney and Tim Pawlenty and Rick Santorum, guys I know and respect, choosing to abandon principles and ignore simple math in order to seem warm and fuzzy. They know raising the minimum wage will not create jobs. They know it will slow hiring. So what's with the pander, guys?
Well, believe it or not, SC, I am outraged about the very same thing that you are, but I'm actually outraged at you. What? And all the other Republicans who are mad at Mitt Romney and Tim Pawlenty and Rick Santorum because they're right. And more than half of the Republicans actually agree with them. Now, the rest of you Republicans, wake up. You're saying no to giving a raise to hardworking Americans, no to extending unemployment insurance. You don't want to stretch out the runway for active job seekers? No? No wonder the GOP is about as popular as hair lice, okay? Republicans with a national perspective and national ambitions understand this. Romney says, and I love this, I think we ought to raise it because, frankly, our party is all about more jobs and better pay. See? That sounds pretty good to me. Republicans, give America a raise, and it might raise your poll numbers. Now, what do you think about that? Are you with your leader, Mitt Romney, on this one?
I'm not with Mitt on this one. I have to tell you, I love Mitt Romney, but not on this, because what we need is an environment to create jobs. The regulations are just killing us. I come from coal country. You know what's happening to our economy. We are getting killed by the war on coal. Lost 188 jobs just last week that paid $75,000 a year, not $10,000, $75,000 a year. Those jobs are gone because of regulations.
Because of fracking.
It has nothing to do with fracking.
We need to raise the minimum wage because nobody should be working full-time and they can't afford to put food on the table. That's a national disgrace. But will Republicans raise the minimum wage? No. Will Republicans create jobs? No. Will Republicans look at immigration reform? No. What do they look at? Benghazi.
Okay, well, let's check on our fireback results. Should Democrats participate in the Benghazi Select Committee? Right now, 54% of you say yes, 46% say no.
Well, I want to thank Congressman Elliot Engel and Morgan Griffith for being here. The debate will continue online at cnn.com/crossfire, as well as on Facebook and Twitter. From the left, I'm Dan Jones.
From the right, I'm S.C. Cobb. Join us next time for another edition of Crossfire. Aaron Burnett out front starts right now.